How you doing?
Hey Patrick, what does it do for you guys to spend time on all the AFC West and OTAs? How does that help you, and does that give you a little leg up?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps for short weeks like this week that we spent some time on them in the off season, and that we kind of went over their defense and the rules of their defense and stuff like that. But you still have to jump into it. I mean, it's a short week, a few late nights, a lot of time up at the building. But you have to be prepared because they have a really good defense, and we have to go out there and execute if we want to find a way to win.
Patrick, were you all surprised by the number of blitzes you saw on Sunday?
Not necessarily. I mean, that's what they've done. I mean, Vance had success doing that against us when he was in Denver, and that's kind of their identity. So you kind of get to some games sometimes where it's, do they change their identity or do they believe they can go out there and play the way they play? And they went out there and played, and we were able to execute at a high enough level that we were able to go out there and score some points.
Why do you think that was the case? Obviously, that's not something you see often.
I think we just had a good game plan going into it. We had a good protection plan, and even when guys were free, I thought guys did a great job of recognizing and kind of getting themselves open quickly. And then the offensive line did a great job of protecting. I mean, there were some spots where you kind of could see guys like Orlando kind of bouncing back out and getting guys they necessarily weren't supposed to get, just because if they got the extra little hand on there, I was able to climb up in the pocket and make a throw.
Patrick, you talked about after the game in Phoenix the other day that the way you guys practice at camp helps you get off to a fast start every year. Are there things you can point to, specific things about training camp maybe, or OTAs, whatever it might be, that allow you to kind of pick up where you left off right when the season starts?
I think first off is the amount of reps. I mean, we get a lot of reps in training camp. We go up against a really good defense with a good scheme and Coach Spags. And then Coach Reed puts us in a lot of game-like situations where he puts us in situations where we're having to run a 2-minute drill, or we're having to drive down the field on a long drive drill, and all the different situations that whenever you get to the game, you're not surprised by stuff. And I think that's why we've kind of started fast in these last couple of seasons. But we have to carry that momentum. I mean, we have a tough schedule, and so we're right on to the Chargers, who are a great football team.
Patrick, can you say what's going on with your wrist at this point? I mean, how's it progressed, and or the thumb?
Yeah, it got a little sore yesterday, but then today it felt a lot better. So we kind of got in the training room, got a little work on it. Haven't actually had any time today to even get any work on it, but it's already felt a lot better. So I'm sure I'll be good to go this week.
Do you feel like it's been pretty extensive, what you've had to do with it, or?
Not necessarily. I mean, just normal stuff. Just kind of take care of it, kind of just keep some stuff on it. But other than that, I mean, it feels great today. So hopefully it keeps getting better like this, and I'll be good to go on Thursday.
And with the Chargers, a different look now with Khalil Mack involved in there. Just what have you seen from their defense as you review film with the Chargers? And do you kind of take a little sense of pride in the fact that these teams are really just prepping just for you and the way they've changed their personnel over offseason?
Yeah, I mean, not just me. We have great quarterbacks in this division in general. So you saw everybody in this division get pass rushers, and so they can go out there and get after the quarterback and make it hard on us. But Khalil's a great player. I mean, obviously they have Bosa already with a lot of other guys that go out there and can rush the passer, and then they have a good defense everywhere. I mean, they have Derwin at safety. I know JC. I don't know if he's playing or not, but he's a great corner, and they have other corners that can play as well, and linebackers. So I mean, this is a great defense, a great challenge for us early in the season. I'm just sad Khalil came back, man. I thought he was out of the AFC West, and now he's back getting sacks again.
Patrick, the broadcast caught you throwing up 4 after the 4th touchdown, was eventually 5. What was, if you remember that moment, what was firing you up so much in that moment, and who were you kind of speaking with, if you can recall that in Arizona?
I mean, I don't even remember doing it. I kind of just went out there and threw a touchdown. I was pretty hyped up. But I saw it on the broadcast, too. I don't know exactly what I was thinking.
Okay. With your experience, Patrick, you know what it takes to be successful on Thursday night games. I'm just wondering, because this one is so early in the year, how much do you weigh what you've done in the past that has led to success on Thursday night, and how much of it is a balance of getting extra sleep or maybe sacrificing sleep so that you are fully prepared?
Yeah, I think usually I sacrifice the sleep earlier in the week, and then as you get closer to the game, try to get back on your sleep schedule and getting your recovery back up there. And they're tough. I mean, they're always tough because your body's not necessarily all the way back to where you want it to be, but you have to find ways to battle through it. And early in the season is kind of good and bad because you kind of, like when you play a division game, we've studied the Chargers a lot in the offseason, so you still have that fresh on your mind. But it seems like in the hits that you take early in the season, you're a little bit more sore because you're not used to them again. So it's a kind of, there's positive and negatives to it, but you just try to go in there and play your best football when it comes down to it at the end of the day.
Of Jody's 6 targets for his career, 3 of them have been touchdowns. Just what makes him seemingly the perfect red zone target for you right now.
Yeah, I mean, we do a good job of scheming stuff to give him the one-on-one matchups. And he's such an athlete, and he can go out there and make those catches. And so whenever we get down in the red zone, he makes those catches and gets those touchdowns. And I think I said it someone yesterday or the day before, where I was just like, we got to get him more involved in the field because he can make the plays happen in the field as well. And I think you saw that in training camp. And hopefully as the season goes on, we get him involved more in the field as well. And then he still keeps catching those touchdowns.
Patrick, you're obviously gelling with some of the new faces on this offense. How do you make sure during a short week where the focus is always going to be on the mental side of things that you guys don't miss a beat? You can keep on carrying that momentum from Sunday.
Yeah, it's finding that line of where we can go out there and put in new plays and that go against this defense and this scheme, but still run the plays that our guys know and that we can play fast. And so I think Coach Reed does a great job of that, of still putting in new plays and getting us ready to go, but not overwhelming us. And we have a lot of smart guys. I think that's the biggest thing, and it helps when you have those guys in the receiving room especially.
Now, the Chargers have come away with wins last season and the season before. Is there something that you need to do at Arrowhead? Is there something that you need to do or correct to make sure that these games don't get away from you?
Yeah, they came in last year and beat us, which I think was week 2 as well. So that's something you got to learn from and know that they're going to be ready to go. And I mean, they've won here, so they're not going to be scared to come in here and play. And so we have to come in with a better mindset of we have to go out there and play better from the start. And I think last year we got down 14-0 quick and had a battle back. And then the year before, I don't think I even played. So it was the one last year. I think it was big for us to know that. They're going to come in with the mindset of kind of jumping on us early and trying to carry that momentum, so we have to match that with our momentum.
In that same line, you know that the Chargers are going to have a different scheme and plan than Arizona had against you. Are you kind of intrigued to see, how your offseason changes and adjustments are going to play against a defense like that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, their defensive coaching staff is great. I mean, Coach Staley is the defensive coach, obviously, and has done a lot of great things. But I mean, all the way down through it, and so they'll have a good game plan. They do a good job of not only playing the same coverages, but kind of through their scheme of out, kind of being in the right spots. So it's about us kind of counteracting that and then going out there and executing. And so they're going to play. I mean, obviously probably more zone, not as much pressure. But they'll come out there and play man too. They got a lot of great players that they believe in, that they brought in, and I'm sure they'll give us our chances at man, and we have to win whenever we get our chance.
Patrick, you had a 35-yard throw to Kelsey off the play action. Kind of a tiny window, kind of a buzz about that. What did you see on that window?
Yeah, it was a play where it was designed where you kind of look at McCole and then reset to Kels, and he was running to the spot, and I've run that play a lot. We're throwing those balls to Kelsey, so I kind of just trusted him and threw it to the spot. And I think it was 47, the linebacker's head was turned, so I knew it was going to be tough for him to make that play. And luckily he didn't turn around fast enough, and Kelsey made a great catch.
You talked before, Patrick, about receivers making adjustments with you post-snap.
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder with Juju and MBS, how you felt it went for the first time operating, adjusting to what the defense was presenting you based on whatever the play call was.
Yeah, I think they did a great job, and especially against a defense like that where there's pressure. I mean, a lot of times those adjustments come when you have to get yourself open quickly. And I think you saw there was certain times where I got the ball in my hand fast and got it to those guys, and they were able to get the ball and get upfield. And so, I mean, they'll continue to get better and better. It'll be another great challenge for us this week. So I'm excited just to get out there and play again against a division opponent.
To that point, Judy had a couple of fumbles in the game. What was your message to him in game?
Yeah, I mean, those things happen. Obviously, we don't want him to. But he's playing hard. I think that's both times he fumbled, he was trying to get extra yards. So, I mean, all you can say is just try to keep it high and tight and keep two hands on when you get in traffic. But I loved how hard he was playing, trying to run through tackles, get those extra yards. And I think if he kind of keeps it high and tight, he'll start breaking some of those tackles when they're going in for those strips, and he'll get a few extra yards for us.
Do you make a point to say, all right, I'm coming back to you no matter what happens?
I think those guys know it. That's just kind of who I am. I mean, I'm going to give those guys chances. I believe in the guys that we have in this locker room. There's never going to be a time where I kind of turn away from somebody. If their number gets called, I'm going to give them a chance, and they'll go out there and make a play.
Last one, Sam.
That Kelsey play that you described earlier, is that something that's popped in the film room, or just kind of move on to the next play?
Just move on to the next play. I mean, I was more upset that I missed McCole on both those touchdowns than anything. So I'll have to make sure I get back and hit those next time and not leave those on the board.
Great. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Patrick.